Wood is a beautiful thing, except for when the cost goes to the moon. That's what everybody is belly aching about these days. We hear it, it's just amazing. Just when you think that things can't get crazier, prices go up again. I just heard 80 some bucks for a piece of OSB. Really crazy stuff. So what's going on? So I'm going to share my perspective and my opinions from what I see as a timber framer with a penchant for economics and psychology. So let's start with the more obvious things. One of the things that's talked about a lot is COVID-19. How does COVID-19 affect what wood prices are doing right now? It did have an impact on how much mills can produce. Not so much because of regulation and who can work and government shutting things down. The forestry industry was pretty much open throughout the whole COVID-19. There was some people sick and yada yada, some small factors, but mostly mill owners look down the road, COVID-19, economy is going to screech to a halt. Let's lay off workers and do this and that. And so they made some rather long-term decisions that cut capacity. And then COVID-19 rolls out, people are home. Many people are getting paid to be home. Not a whole lot to do, kind of coasting at work, twiddling your thumbs. Well, people like to do stuff. We like to accomplish things. We like to build stuff. So we're looking around, we have extra time, and Home Depot starts selling out of goods. People are doing home improvement projects. And maybe they're not doing home improvement projects, but planning for future builds. And so this brought demand, surprisingly. I would have never guessed it. So then the mills were kind of behind the 8 ball starting even back then. Then we fast forward to when the vaccine starts rolling out, and now people are ready and raring to go. I mean, finally they can do something. They feel like they have some certainty. They can move forward. And they've had all this time to think and plan and dream. Well, the engine's revved, and it's just a matter of taking the foot off the brake. So then this is happening. And another thing that really helped push on that gas pedal is the end of our messy election. That's something that's going down in the history books as extremely messy, extremely uncertain. And even in a normal election cycle, most people pump the brakes a little bit because you just want to see what happens, who gets in office and kind of what noises they make. And then once that's done and things seem certain again, you can push on the gas pedal, move on forward. Well, and then this one was especially worse, and that was the certainty came about the same time the vaccine was rolled out. So you get kind of a double whammy, 2 pushes to that gas pedal, and now demand's really ramping up, and sawmills are still behind. One of the big things that affected sawmills, which is less obvious, is solar flares. And I'm going to direct you to Yasana TV. It's The Surprising Truth About Lumber Prices, something like that. It's on YouTube. It's about a 45-minute YouTube, very detailed, about why solar flares have done a huge reduction to the mills that produce lumber for North America. I'm going to boil it down real simple here. In essence, the solar flares have a delayed cycle. In a couple years, they warm the Atlantic. The warm Atlantic causes drought conditions in the northern hemisphere, especially Europe and Russia. When drought conditions are present, it's susceptible to fires and the trees don't get water, so they're weakened. Beetles come in and they kill trees. And so the foresters who hope to profit from these trees, they've got to get something for their wood and then replant, right? These trees are dead. So they flood the market. And with all this cheap lumber, China didn't buy anything from, they suddenly stopped buying from Canada. And they bought up all this cheap lumber that was, killed by the beetles, which is a common thing to do, right? It's like, who wouldn't? Well, what that did is a lot of mills in Canada had to shut down. The pieces were sold, parted out, and production was, and capacity is kind of permanently eliminated. And this was all before COVID-19. So this is kind of the bigger reason that set the stage for this crazy spiral that we've seen in prices. And then one other thing that is a constant but has had its effect in this craziness is our central banking system. It's a dishonest money system. In Benjamin Franklin's day, the quote, you may have heard it, "A penny saved is a penny earned." In our time today, that is not true. It would be closer to say that a penny saved is a penny lost. So how does this work? When the money system is sound, when it's not debased, cannot be inflated with clicks of a keyboard, then prices are stable, and we, you and I as humans, we tend to remember what we learn. And because of this, because of just we keep learning, production of goods and services goes on an even keel, steadily upward. And if the money supply stays the same, production goes up, that means that goods and services bought tomorrow are going to cost less than they do today. And you can witness this today in some sectors that are just extremely fast for their innovation and production, such as computers, cell phones, electronics, those kind of things. They've gotten cheaper over time, even with inflation that we keep adding to our economy by printing money. That means that investors, people are looking for a return on their money. They can't use bonds, they can't use treasuries, money in the bank. You lose over inflation, it doesn't pay diddly squat. So investors are sitting here, what to do? What do I invest in? And so when one sector, such as like the dot-com bubble, that attracted money, it drags money, and it works on expectations that we as humans, we expect things. Once prices are going up, we expect them to keep going up. If they're going down, we expect them to keep going down. And so there's a psychology and fear of all of this playing in as well. But so these sectors will start to attract investment, and now you get more and more people jumping on the bandwagon because choices are limited. What can you do with your money to have it not be lazy money, have it produce something? And so that just creates an atmosphere for bubblicious things to pop up, be it the stock market, be it housing, be it there's the dot-com, the computers, all kinds of things. And so that just makes risky behavior. And that is also, I believe, right now, the housing market is tangible. It's something that can't disappear overnight like the stock market can. Somebody always needs a place to live. So money is looking for a return, looking for stability, and it's going into the housing market as well, along with all of the home improvements and this and that and the other thing. So there is my opinion, the hairy tangled ball spread out as I see it. Take it for what it's worth. So where do we go from here? What's up now? What is the best decision for you? The good news is that this is your chance to really figure out what you are about and why you're doing what you're doing. This is going to be the crucible that puts you to the test. Are you committed to building an artistic timber frame that is going to last for decades and be part of your legacy? This is going to put your money where your mouth is, right? This is not going to be shag carpet that goes out and in with styles. This is something that's really lasting. And lasting value is what you're going to get. Wood is a beautiful thing.